what's your positioning on the Euro USD going into Thursday's ECB meeting?
Again, we're early obviously here, but I like the euro on the long side versus the dollar for two reasons. One, I think you buy the news on the euro. So again, everyone's kind of pinning this down. You have European banks going with this kind of negative rates trade. I don't think Draghi's going to be as dovish as people think. I do think he'll ease, but I don't think he'll ease enough. So I think you'll bounce on the news. And then the more important point, the second point, is that the Fed meeting comes next. And I think at the Fed meeting, she is going to get more dovish. Rhetorically, dovish is going to be in motion. Housing is the main problem that she's going to be seeing here, in as much as consumer spending and retail sales missing in April. I just had some guy named Hans on on CNBC. It was on off mute for a bit, and I caught him, and he said, "Well, look, consumer spending is fantastic. If you look at the these words," and then he kept saying right, like how these group thinkers keep saying, they'll make a statement from the sell side, then they'll say right. I just wish I was on the show and I'd say wrong.
Right.
Wrong. No, it's like wrong. These consumer spending numbers are terrible. I don't know how you could actually say that. Well, I guess if you strap a bow tie on and you look smart, you can get away with it. But I certainly don't. I don't know where these people are coming from with this stuff. It's certainly not in line with the data.
Indeed, it isn't. So another one. If 2014 is akin to 2007, what month are we in based on your analysis of intramarket signals?
June. It's June. Well, seriously. But no macro market cycle is the same as the other. B, sometimes behavioral patterns rhyme. C, anybody who says this is just like that month in that year is just flat out making stuff up. So, one of the key similarities between the summer of 2007 and the summer of 2014 is the capital markets side of the animal spirit. Now, animal spirits manifest in many different ways. In the summer of 2007, by the time August, September, October hit, everyone was going to LBO everyone at 14 times EBITDA. You could see David Benz chuckling over there, because this is where Hilton obviously went out at like a peak trailing multiple of trailing EBITDA on peak margins, and the guys at Hilton were ecstatic about it. Any idiot who's going to pay that, happy to have sold that into the vortex. Now we have M&A. So, M&A, anyone can buy anyone until they can't. So again, that's going to be an interesting kind of storyline to watch. And while we're on the road, I readily admit, if you're bullish on inflation, you should be bullish on M&A. We have no idea when the M&A thing ends, but it tends to end abruptly, and it tends to end with the kinds of deals that Facebook did for the WhatsApp, even though we've never seen that pattern before either.
Good. And then lastly, so if policymakers are so, why do you think policymakers are so obsessed with perpetuating inflation? Is it because they're part of the top 20% that gets paid on QE?
I just don't think they have any other model. It's not that the Hans with the bow tie is a bad person or a dumb person. He's just using the wrong model. How many times have you seen a great athlete just use the wrong play or the wrong playbook for a great coach? This is what is fundamentally wrong with Wall Street. It has had an inability to evolve the process. Now, the buy side's evolving the process. There's a lot of bottom-up stock pickers, long, short managers that now do macro. They're looking for macro that is actually right, as opposed to just doing macro for the sake of macro. But you have a large institution of macro that is driven by Western academic Keynesian thought, and models that really are groupthink oriented and anchored together. They'd rather all be wrong at the same time than stand out and say, hey, look, I'm going to take a shot at this. Maybe we're the only ones crazy enough to do that.
Indeed, we are. We'll wrap it up there, folks. Thanks for joining us this morning. Catch you back here tomorrow, same time. Have a great day out there.